And we're back. We are live. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another gathering of the minds. Today's going to be an excellent day, and just want to share that with you. Where are we going to start? I have no idea. Official test start time, 2 minutes and counting. 7:44 a.m. East Coast time. Down South time too. I forgot. Completely forgot about that. See if I can adjust this a little bit more better. See if I can move this way. Oh, I see. Make sure that we're Cooper, kosher, copacetic. Boom. That way we can have some artwork in the background. Again, look at the new NFTs. Too dark. Oh, wait a minute. Completely forgot. Got to power up my corazones. Got to plug in. Completely forgot about that. I would have totally forgot. And I would have been wheezing. Oh, that's a charge. And we can build from there. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another gathering of the minds. We're going to spend some much needed quality time together. We're going to discuss many different things, many topics, ranging from business and investments and things like that. Warm this up, not warm it up, mix it and cool it down. So here we are. This is today's office space. Because we own a technology company, we're basically able to connect in as many ways as possible, right? For production, you see how I'm making these adjustments just to make sure everything is symmetrical, everything looks nice, and everything is conversation style. So while my coffee clears, you guys have 19 seconds for your official test start time. 5 pages, 5 paragraphs each, 5 sentences, 5 words each, 5 computer spaces in between, 5 revisions, show the work. I don't care if you do it in chicken scratch, type it, you press it up, you can use your hyper scientific, you're able to use any type of artificial intelligence for assistance. If you don't show the work, I'm going to assume you used all technology, you get no credit for it. So here we go. Where do we stand today, August the 3rd, 2025? First thing in the morning. One of our business investments will open in about 2 hours. Probably less than that, but about 2 hours for everybody to get there. The other three investments happen to be on the same avenue. Uh, it's very calm in all of them. Most people are getting ready to go to their faith based services. A lot of people going to church and things like that. So we acknowledge that. We acknowledge the fact that our employee mania, our employee body, our other business partners are doing the absolute best that they can. We do our best to learn from every one of these situations, and we continue to push forward. Basically, at the end of the day, that's the most important thing. So for today, definitely have a new album on the way. Um, I have to think what other transformers I want to use for the artwork of the NFT. So we did Devastator 8, we did Autobot Jazz 9. So for number 10, we still have characters like Ironhide, um, even small characters like Laserbeak. We have Autobot Mirage. which would kind of make sense to have Autobot Mirage because we already had Jazz and they're like, the dynamic duo, right? Um, as far as Devastator, he really was not supposed to be a frontline project like that. But it happened, I was inspired and I drew from that. I think Mirage would be a natural uh, follow up just because, you know, Autobot Jazz 9 um, was such a good example. Devastator 8 was good. I have to change the approach with the production because this is what ended up happening. There are producers that I broke in, right? That are now part of my catalog. And because their workflow is at a starter level, not that they're not professionals, just compared to my catalog, right? They are unable to keep up with the pace, right? So what happens is they're overwhelmed. Every time that I'm checking for new production, there's nothing there. While we're starting our day, let's go check out what Farik has. And even Farik has been basically on a slump. You know, Farik has been on a slump. Buddha is hyper, but with Buddha, I have too many songs with Buddha. You know, let me see if this one was fixed because the last production by Thing had no sound. This has sound. Okay, so I'm basically I'm tracing their work. You know what I'm saying? Like can't go to Farik because I just have so many hits with Farik and Buddha that it's just not even fair. You know what I mean? But it's important as part of my creative process. You know what I mean? Buddha's production is so powerful that just one is good. For my albums, even two is too much. So let's go ahead and get those in. And now we go back to the same thing. Let's go to JC, see what he has. And he has, I got this one already. He already sent me this one. No. All right. So now I can give the opportunity to a new producer. So what are we gonna put? We're gonna put rap, instrumental, 2025. Now what am I looking for? I'm looking for a producer that's new, that has extremely low subscriber count, that has extremely low views, just to give everybody an opportunity. If you have hundreds of thousands of views in a few days, I'm not interested in putting my vocals over your instrumentals. You know what I'm saying? It makes no sense. I want to break the record in. I don't want the record once it's established. So now, as I'm doing my research, right, I'm looking at the amount of views in just a few days. For example, this instrumental they sent me it has 200,000 people that clicked on it. Not interested. The record has been oversaturated, overexposed. And this means that the new producer that has reached that level doesn't need much of an opportunity. The new producer that doesn't have that kind of exposure, that's the producer I want to work with. And because of that, it retains the original sound. I don't tell producers what kind of beats to make or things like that, right? So what winds up happening is sometimes the mood of the album can change. And I have to embrace it because every single record that I put together cannot be high octane, high energy, right? So this is what winds up happening. Sometimes as a fan of music, I'm looking forward to that high adrenaline record, right? And it may not be available because it may not be found in this album, even that I just worked on, right? But that's what keeps my music authentic and genuine. That's what makes it mine. Because a lot of artists are not willing to explore those sounds. They're not willing to explore those new frequencies from new production, right? So now, once again, now I'm going back to this producer, right? And they got some new stuff. But I had to give them the opportunity to flourish and develop because we just did. I got with this producer right now. I have more than 10 albums, so it was hard 10 albums ago. It's still hard now, but you know, this was just sent to me a few hours ago. You know, then I'm noticing that I have to I have to be careful because you know the sound is so important. So like the genre as well, like this producer is just giving me, you know, trap this, trap that, right? Nothing wrong with that. But I need something more from production. You know what I'm trying to say? I cannot force this producer to change their sound because they may be working on just that. That may be their groove right now. So I want to keep that genuine and authentic. But in my situation, it means that I have to go to another producer to get what I'm looking for while still giving this person the opportunity. So, like, out of all of the production that was sent to me, I want to make sure that I give every record that deserves an opportunity, you know? So, I have one that is new that I needed. I added an additional one just to look out because I wanted him to have more exposure on the album. And then I added two of them, but it's not really what I need. So, what does that do? That leaves me in a situation that I have no other choice. Now, even though I need an additional track, I have to now look for another producer that I can give them the opportunity. So this is important. This is why like it's important to be genuine and not buy bots and things like that because my opportunity is not going to come for, a person that has overinflated exposure, you know? So now I have to continue my search. So basically, I hope that you guys can understand my creative process, right? So I have my main two producers. They get first dibs, even if they just send me one instrumental or one beat, right? So Farika's number one, Buddha's number one. Those are my elites, right? Industry status, worldwide. These are my guys, right? Now, everybody else is fighting for those slots. If I do a regular new digital album, there's only 7 slots. So 2 are already taken. I only have 5. I try to give them not only an album, I give them a single, an additional single. So there's really 8 slots. That eighth slot means that there's 6 positions still left. I could use a wild card for the sixth record, which I'm most likely going to give to JC Nicolas if he has something available, which JC Nicolas has been in a slump. But then again, we have over 100 something records just for the year. So I've squeezed everything that he has, you know what I mean? So now looking for another producer just to give that opportunity says a lot because for those 4 instrumentals, that means that the audience is going to be locked in that chamber by that new producer for anywhere from 12 to 20 minutes. And in an album, which, my albums are like movies, right? That's a long time. And it's a challenge acoustically, sonic wise, because you may not want to tap into certain emotions and feelings, but it may still happen. And if it's not what you necessarily wanted to convey, you have no choice because, again, to keep it genuine, I'm going to go through that journey with the music, right? So it puts a lot of things into perspective. And a lot of these records, I found myself going through the journey with the production, not being biased, just being neutral to it, but also thinking about all the end users, right? Like, how are they going to feel when they listen to the records? That's what has made this series so special and unique because high energy, high octane, I have a lot of records like that, but every single record cannot be like that, if that makes sense. The same way that I don't expect anyone to tell me what to put in my lyrics, I'm never going to tell a producer, do this, do that. Now, if I'm looking for specific type of instrumental in a genre, then again, I'm always going to support the underground, no matter what. So in this situation, this is kind of like where we are, you know what I mean? So now time is of the essence as well because I find myself looking for these next 2 records, and all of these have overexposure, which leads me to believe that these are inflated numbers. If that's their goal and their aim, I'm nobody to tell them not to do that. I obviously would not advise to do that, but it is the reality. You know what I mean? It is the reality of the situation. So I'm mostly driven to look for those producers that basically didn't get the opportunity that they deserved. You know what I'm saying? Somebody has, you know, few 100,000 uh, plays on the instrumentals. That's few 100,000 people that considered that beat. Some people wouldn't pick it just because of that. I wouldn't pick it because it's just too much. It's oversaturation. You know. Now I have a new producer that we're gonna give an opportunity to. Shout out to DJ Calvin McHugh. Now let's do a quick count and let us remove the old production. So I like to clear the drive before I continue to record. Hold on. So I'll clear the drive. Also, another thing you have to consider is the fact that, you know, BandLab continues to use my data to develop its technology, right? And they keep sending these updates, just changing something because they're learning from everything that I'm doing and the way that I'm adjusting, right? Pause this. Okay, so let's do a quick count just so we can have this ready for the album for when I do lay my vocals. Let's see, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, and eight. Now, DJ Calvin McHugh, right? I already see what's going to be the next production because I have a lot to draw from. And what I was looking for was a rap hip hop sound that I can infuse some Latin stuff, which I'll go back to doing Latin stuff about sometime in the next 2 weeks, just because I'm going to be traveling and I'm going to start this leg of the tour. This will allow me to deliver what I want to deliver to the people. So this is going to probably be the beginning of the new phase. So you ask yourself, for these series, we're already going to be at release number 10. And I like Mirage as a candidate. You still have Ironhide, you know, there's still characters like Laserbeak and Rumble that I would like to give them an opportunity to be part of the series. But it just goes to show you, I'm constantly making these decisions up. Also, I can always go back, but this run for this series is very important. And if I closed out the series with Mirage, I would be content and I would be happy because I can always go back and do Ironhide at a later time. There's a Bishop album that is due, and that's going to come out in a few weeks. And there's a Black Ranger album that is about to come out, and those are all hidden NFTs. As a matter of fact, in Autobot Jazz 9, there were a lot of NFTs because I felt like I owed that to the fan base, right? So now that we have all the production in place in one part of the drive, let us go to, let me just double check. Um, 8. Okay. Also, you know what? We have a chance to add an additional two, and I'm gonna tell you why. One, because it's gonna signify the actual change, but because I need it to be an even 10. You know why? Because Autobot Jazz 9 is 9 records, right? Symbolizes number 9, but it put us at an even number. So we're gonna keep going up with even numbers. So let's add. Let me see. Okay, we can add the additional two to make it an album, 3 singles, not including the singles inside of the album. So now we have an opportunity for a bonus. We have an opportunity for a bonus here. I have two different sets of production with a similar name. And let's talk about that. I have a catalog that's so big that it became a time consuming challenge to put a title on every song. I had to build a system to find the production when I needed the clearances as I negotiated the deal. So, whatever title that the production would give to the beat, that's what I would title the song because that would be my way of fusing the concept. And whenever I needed the release, I can look at that era specific, that production, and follow word for word how they formatted the instrumental so that they will be able to find it and get uh, their publishing copyrights. At which time, once it's released, then I would take the first portion of every record and the real title comes from that. So it's a system that you could only enjoy doing something like an NFT, just to give you an example. So now let's see how much we're gonna have in this production. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10. The additional beat because we want to make it fair. So now the two new producers, one is already seasoned. He got, four instrumentals in this album. And the newest, today's new edition, he got, I want to say about the same amount of records. Yep. He got the same amount of records. One, two, three, four, five, six. Actually, he got a little bit more. And that's what I like to do is give those people an opportunity. Nobody's done for the underground what I've done. So now production is in place in one part of the hard drive. So let us go to Pinterest so that we can look for the inspirational artwork. Oh, this is Magnus. Yo, Ultra Magnus is gonna get his own series, man. This is Magnus. Oh my goodness. Look at Ultra Magnus, kid. Special edition NFT. I'm gonna give that one away. All right. Um, we need to look for Autobot Mirage. And again, with the NFT, now I get to give an opportunity to these artists and, uh, you know, build from there. Mm, I always pick the old school for the kids. I think it's important. Can't show you guys exactly, but mm, oh, this is Mirage. He's the Pagani. He's the Utopia. No way. No way. Special edition. Federico for Olympus. Good job. See, now it starts to come to life. So people get to see how I put the ingredients in. So this is the NFT. He has the artwork. I have the music, right? So I bring in my production, bring in my vocals, create the audio, acoustic NFT. He has the artwork. We all work together. We all collaborate. You know, so I can set apart, a percentage of the publishing for this artist. Otherwise, this art would go unnoticed. So there's one that he's a 300ZX. That's what's up. B. Let me go back. It's a nice. Oh man, look at this sound wave, yo. Now I don't have to limit it by production. I can create a brand new NFT and put it in that production because I have the power to do so. You know what I mean? So it's even supporting this part of the underground. You know what I'm saying? So this one's gonna be full of NFTs because I'm gonna be able to. I like the fact that I don't have to limit it. You know what I mean? But I still need a very powerful illustration of Mirage. So far, him being the Pagani Utopia is front row. You know? Oh my goodness! Look at this sound. Yo, I got 3 sound waves or 4 in a row, man. They all look phenomenal, B. Soundwave is hot. That also tells me there's a super demand for Soundwave. So what do I want to give to my fans? I want to give them um, more options. And again, it's not that I set out to look for it. It just happened to be that way because visually, it's appealing to the concept that I have. This is a character that I'm very close to and very drawn to. You know what I mean? So what better way to share it with my fans? Because ultimately, that's my number one goal. Now, I'm getting closer to realism. So, again, special edition. There's even a way that I can determine that. That I cannot, I cannot disclose, but there's something that the program does when I start the programming that basically it lets me know if it's a special edition. So if it is, that's why you'll see on the description Space Force edition or special edition or depending on the series. So I think that we have oh man, this is another one too. Now I'm gonna make it a point to give away even more of these NFTs because everybody should be able to have access to them. You know what I mean? Oh, this is a good one, man. Now I gotta stop because the visual art is crazy, right? All right, so we got that out of the way. Now I'm gonna go to the actual program, right? We'll go to the program and I'm gonna start programming what the album will be. And then because the format changed, I can't just load the console with these 10, I think it's 11, to be honest with you. Matter of fact, let's just double check. I think it is 11. So now what it forces me to do is I have to lock out every single one, which is cool because for the records, breaking the records always helps. That always helps. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It is 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So what this does for me, it's basically like confirmation that I cannot stop at volume 10. I have to do volume 11, obviously, right? Number of Divinity, and volume 12 would make it a nice, even um, series. But I also, being that I'm gonna work on volume 10 today and volume 11 over the next few days, I can preserve that 12th edition as a special edition after the Bishop series comes out, the Black Ranger series comes out, and you guys already know the inevitable. There's gonna be a Cyclops after that. And any Cyclops album, any Vader album is gonna lead to a Wolverine, and that's gonna lead to another Green Ranger. That means the completion of one cycle. So stay tuned for that. So I'll go to albums, and this is the hardest part because uh, if I go with the old school graphics, it puts Mirage right in the front and center to where a kid can reach out and grab it. But uh, this particular design, uh, you know, I think it's only fair that we put him as the Utopia. So Mirage 10, baby, it's gonna be a LP and it'll be a special edition. So special edition NFT, one of one, and we accept Bitcoin, Tron, and Ethereum too. We put the crown because we know we're gonna be at 800 plus. So I'll leave it open like that until I release it, and we'll go ahead and change the avatar, letting my fans know that I'm in the studio. Make sure that the cache is clear, and let's change the avatar. Um, for the avatar, now I have a chance to use the full body design, which is pretty much drawn by hand. Doesn't have that much computer things, what you call it, like graphics. So I can give you guys a preview of what it's gonna look like because we programmed it together. This is another way to save the NFT. Shout out to you, Morpheus. I know that that's you there, my brother from another mother, my nigga, my Nick. I'm gonna dedicate this album to you, Morpheus. To my nigga for real, B. My nigga for life, dog. In that instance, I could be Jazz, he could be Mirage. Don't worry, when we sign the deal, that's how it's gonna be. So I could put that aside and let you guys have a look. See if you can see it. Wait, too bright, too bright, too bright. Remember, it's computer vision, so look at that. Look at you, Morpheus. Look, I turned you into an NFT. I got this for you, dog. This is gonna be the NFT that's gonna start your Lamborghini SV. I got you. It's not the only one I'm gonna get you, but this is gonna be the key to it. This is what's gonna start the car. Tell me that's not serious, yo. Look at that, Morpheus. My back, cause I'm plugging in my apparatus here. Can you see it? Tell me that's not dope. Ah, look at it right there. Let me see. Official, baby. Official. See it? We got to do that live, and it is about capturing these moments. So now I'm ready for that. Shout out to my power users. Um, of course, Street Fighter tournaments crazy. I'm gonna put y'all on. Go on YouTube, type in Fighting Ground SF6, and you can see part of the tournament. It's Fei Long versus Supreme Sagat in hardest, and it's from Street Fighter 4. Not that there's not other videos, but that's a pretty cool one. So we're trying to blow that video up. Came out a week ago, so I need y'all to go and support it, like, subscribe, share, and comment below. Tell us what you guys think about it. See if you can figure out who was using what character, who won and who lost. I'm not gonna spoil it for you guys. So the beginning of this time. So very quickly, back to the brick and mortar proof of concept location that we have. In this business, I'm leading by example, right? So of course I open and close every single day. But the purpose of that, right, is to inspire the next generation to be able to do the same thing, to be able to be responsible enough to do that. That is extremely important, because it's a muscle that we develop and it only gets stronger and stronger, right? To where this becomes your nature. I feel that if I'm at work, I'm at work. If I'm with my family, I'm with my family. If I'm doing music, I'm doing music. I got to do all the PR stuff. I got to do everything myself, right? So I'm on tour. So I got to reach out to my management team. Got to reach out to the company, my business partners, and my colleagues. Um, I've done research into going to Colombia, getting all the logistics. I have to go by myself first and build a few bridges myself, and then open the door and the gateway for my team to come in. My other business partners, long term, that's really their home market. So it's new to me, but it's definitely not new to them. From there, it's Canada. I have a few events there, then I got to go Australia. In Australia, I have way too many events, but I'm going to cherry pick the ones that I'm most interested in that I can do right now. Um, for the long term negotiation, we already posted a deadline of 12 weeks. We have to reach an agreement in 12 weeks. I have equipment that I need. I have most of my wardrobe. Shout out to my nigga Jo. Took care of that. Um, the jewelry probably will not be finished until around my birthday time, around October. And I hope you guys like this right here. This is a good length, I guess, and a good width. Um, this is kind of, it's my look, it's my style, right? For the custom piece, I'm probably gonna get a new version of my Sonic piece. Um, maybe I'll make it a spinner piece. So I've been kind of thinking about that, how I want to do it. This one, I'm gonna design. It's gonna look like my older one, but it's gonna be much, much more beautiful, more intricate. Of course, moissanite and silver. Um, and for the Cuban link, I think I'm gonna probably dip it in the rhodium, but that won't be for at least another month or two because I want to see the difference. I want to wear it just as it comes. Then I want to dip it in the rhodium and then see how many months it lasts because I have to perform every single day. So the rhodium protects it from damage. So I do expect damage from wearing it without the rhodium, but I'll just get it filed down and dipped in the rhodium after that. So it's like a new process, new technique. Um, a lot of people thought that it was white gold, and with the rhodium, they thought it was platinum. But it has this unique, like in between. It's not platinum, it's not white gold. It's just like, wow, you really wish that it would look like that all the time, right? So a part of me wants to rush to the business, and that's just my nature of being a hustler, right? I just want to go get to it, right? I have to allow time and space for the business to recharge, as well as for my business partners to start their day. That's what they identify with. They need the opportunity to start their creative flow, right? For me, this is my creative flow. This is my creative nature, is my creative curve, right? So it's no problem. Now, may there be clients that are early? Absolutely. There will be clients that are early. And I need those people to be able to get them because that's their incentive to show up early. Remember, I'm always traveling. I'm never going to be here. I'm here because I have a pit stop. I'm on tour. I have a few events and I got to keep it moving. Then I'll be back. You know, gone are the days where I have to tell people, yo, I don't know when I'm coming back or I don't know if I'm coming back. Now I could say I have an idea of when I'm coming back and I know for sure that I am coming back. So it kind of works out in a major, major, major way. So it really puts everything into perspective. Meanwhile, I still have to start my day. I got my workout going. I got my prayers, my meditation. I recorded my journal. I prepared today's module. I'm teaching today's class, but I also programmed the NFTs. I also programmed the artwork for the album. I already decided I have to go to at least 11 of this series, and then I can save the 12th edition as a special edition. The Bishop album, everybody's been waiting for that almost the whole year. So I know that that album is special. The Black Ranger series, I have to be careful when I release it. The Bishop album goes first. So what does that mean? There's a Cyclops album on the way. And you already know the Cyclops albums, they're all high energy, high octane. That's why I take my time with those releases. But then what comes after that? You either have a Vader series or you have a Green Ranger series. That's why I have to be careful when I release the Black Ranger series because I don't want the fans to feel like I'm building it up for another Green Ranger album. No, you wait for that Green Ranger album because you understand lyrically and creatively what I'm developing and what's the process that I'm going through. So all of the buildups are for a reason. Um, breaking the record, just looking at the numbers, if Mirage 10 is 11 tracks, you already know you have a bonus record. But really, you have a bonus 4 records because you have 7 on the album, regardless of singles that come from the album, meaning NFTs. Then you have another 4 singles. and this new producer has all four of them. So that's like a royal flush. So I have all the NFTs. What are the NFTs that are coming? I already told you guys we have Soundwave. I have the illest Soundwave. Oh my goodness, it's crazy. Soundwave for sure. I have the Ultra Magnus one, which I thought it was Autobot Jazz. It is not. I have the different variations of Mirage, and I have like two or three Devastator ones. Purple with the neon green. Fire. Some are realism. Um, the Ultra Magnus one is hand drawn with markers. The Mirage one is hand drawn, which is the one that I showed you guys. And the fact that Morpheus always comes through, always shows up. Now, because this is one of my brothers, now I get to make the key of the car the NFT. So for the Lamborghini Diablo, the SV that I have for him, and we have matching cars. This is based on a childhood event that happened to us when we were kids, right? So to make it a more unique experience, now I can bring in my business partners I curated, and I have like I think it's 4 or 6 SE Jodas from the factory, like factory Joda kits on those Lamborghinis. So I can take one of those modules from the race car and put it into the fob where the key is, and then let the NFT start the car. Now I also have to make it clear as I'm speaking it into existence in the universe. This is my dream board, right? Um, it's not the only car in the series because we're both engineers. Bunker's an engineer too, but the relationship, the friendship, and the brotherhood is different. So, as much as Morpheus could want to hide it, he's an engineer at heart. So, he's going to appreciate the intricacies, how eloquent we put that together. On the newer cars, it's much easier to do that. If I do it inside of an SVJ Joda, right? It's much easier to do that than an SE Joda, which is 30th anniversary. Mind you, those cars are not paddle shifters. We can make them paddle shifters, but for this experience, I like the fact that we can still change gears. Because if I'm going to race my brother on a track, I want the best experience. I don't always want to use the cheat code from the computer, which if you put a driver like us in a car like that and you give us paddle shifters, that's just you're letting us cheat basically. But a SE30 or SE30 Joda is special, and they're not cheap. They're not cheap, but at the same time, I look at it as paying dues. There's so many people that are involved in my life, right? When we reach this agreement, the abundance is just crazy. I feel that giving the people that I love these types of gifts are more about the accomplishment that we were able to have as a family and as human beings. It's not about the car. Obviously, it's not about the car. There's a lot of cars far and in between, more expensive, more affordable. Some are more, affordable. Some are more expensive. Some are faster. Some are slower. Some are more prestigious. But the emotional value is my comfort zone because that's why I collect cars. Just to like give you an example, I don't know if I said it in the best way that I could, but like my Conan segs automatically from the factory, I already designed them to start with like, my thumbprint and the NFTs. For a car like a SE30 Joda or SV, which is what we have, the Super Veloces, it's harder to do that because those keys are Chrysler keys and they don't have the immobilizers built into the key. Those immobilizers are built into the door of the car. So I would have to gut the car to install these modules. Like not me personally, but like, I bring it to Curated and they'll probably send it to like Unique Whips, for example, or West Coast Customs. But in order for me to program that, it starts right now, putting together the theory of how I want it to be. And I think that we can have the car start with his handprint or his thumbprint, and then for his son, basically have the NFT so that his son, when he gives the car to his son in the future, his son can program his handprint, his thumbprint to the NFT, and that's it. Until his son passes it on to his son or his daughter, that's how you start the vehicle. And I'm sure there'll probably be different technology. Like we could do the face scan into the NFT, but I don't want to do that. There's something about having the key. Maybe I can put the sensor on the actual key and put the NFT. So program the NFT, put the thumb sensor, and then make that the key of the car because those cars still have keys. SVJ Jota, the new ones, they have a push button start, so they don't have the thing on the keychain. But these are all examples, right? These are all ideas we get to play with. Also, when customizing the vehicle, I'm gonna put the illest sound system and entertainment. Like my nephew is gonna be able to play his PlayStation or Xbox in the car while they're driving, right? But the graphics of the car, I get to mix everything. You know, he's Air Force, I'm Air Force Space Force, right? So you look at characters like Guile in the Street Fighter 2 Turbo Saga or Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo Saga. Guile is the character that he can personify in real life. He's like the real life Guile. We'll put it to you like that. So now I can infuse that. I can make a Space Force by putting outer space elements in the graphics. I can put Guile as the graphics, but then I can also put some Power Ranger lore, some Star Wars lore, some Transformers lore, maybe even some Lego or Lego Technics lore, all in one design. So I can do it graffiti style. I can do it, let's say, in the American flag. I can put fighter jets. He's an engineer for the F-22, so I can put some Raptors in the design. This is just a way of being creative. If we put carbon fiber wheels, I can customize that into the weave of the carbon fiber. If it's a aluminum alloy wheel or something equivalent, then we can get that laser etched into it. But the customization says to the person, I appreciate you this much. Oh, you spend $1 million on the car and customize it? Yeah. And then you spend another half a million customizing? Yes. Because this is supposed to be unique and special. Then the wild card is, why not take the old SVJ and put the new SVJ drivetrain and components in the car? The possibilities are endless, you know? So, had we not captured this in this moment, in this masterclass, which this is what you guys are going to be talking about, this is what you guys are going to be breaking down. These are all projects, and you got to be a part of it in real life because as I'm charging my module, I'm able to simultask and drink my coffee, teach the master class, give the business the opportunity to open, check on the other investments. I know that today is calm because people are going to their faithful religious services, right? But it gives us the proper foundation for the upcoming week because we already established a 12-week countdown. And this leg of the tour is going to take a life of its own. All I want to do is make sure that I beat over 40 events, whether it's directly in the market or indirectly, if we go to surrounding markets. But this is what fuels the fire. This is what fuels the vision, the dream, right? Everything we're trying to do stems from this. So it's not just the NFTs, it's not just the music, it's not just the producers, it's not the artwork, it's not just the marketing, it's everything. It's not where we're performing, how we're performing, how much money we're making, what are we reinvesting, what are the execs that we're securing with this investment, what are we negotiating when we're talking BlackRock, Blackstone. For me, it's everything. I'm the artist. I'm the venture capitalist. I am the, you know, talent development arm, digital marketer, promoter. I do everything. The people in my team are people that I can delegate the power to do things that I'm unable to do. I don't want to go to my office knowing I have to have more business meetings and deal with clients when I know I have an album to turn in. At the same time, I don't want to be too far away from the business where we get slammed and we're super busy and I'm unable to capitalize on that, not only for myself personally, but for the business. Why? Because I am going to be traveling and I'm going to be, you know, moving faster than the speed of light. So all of these things are important because you need to find a balance. You need a time frame to be human. This is why I wake up early and I go exercise and I meditate and I pray so that by the time I'm broadcasting live and I'm teaching these engineering classes and we're going over production and we're going in graphic design and we're talking about AI, I can be as sweet as I can be. I can come as powerful as I can be at my most powerful level and most powerful form. And I cannot afford to let insecurity prevent me from documenting these moments. These are the moments that don't make it to the movie. These are the moments that Hollywood are not going to glamorize. This is for people in business to understand that I know my shit and I'm 100% serious about business. Hence, why we clarified everything. Once again, speaking about Mauricio Ruiz and M. Rodriguez and Ray Daniels and all of the execs like a Casey Graham and a Wendy Dave and a Arlen Hamilton and a Mark Cuban. All these people involved in this project, they're involved directly and indirectly. We have to keep all of our business partners happy. I need to reach out to Allegiant Stadium, which is the Raiders Stadium. Even though we missed the Canelo fight, we missed the Shakira. Well, we worked on the Shakira concert, but not as we wanted to. And again, these are all examples. Why is that important? Because this is my life. This is all part of the mosaic. The only difference is we may have to host a business meeting, and I'm inside of my SVJ with the top off. And whatever you can hear, oh well, that's just the way that we do business. I could have a business meeting with Morpheus while he's driving his SVJ, and I'm trying to, beat him. Let's say we go, all right, let's go from New Orleans or Texas all the way to Canada. That's the kind of racing that I'm interested in. Let's go from one end of the Dominican Republic to the other end. Let's drive along the coastline. Let's go to every resort and perform as a car show, as part of like the automotive adventure. Look at people such as Rob Ferretti, Super Speeders Rob. I'm inspired by these people. I'm motivated by these people. What I want to do, I want to serve as a baseline and as a basis of inspiration because you can be an artist and you can also be an entrepreneur. And I show you every single day. I can give you the School of Hard Knocks or I can give you the Pepperdine education. I can be a lawyer, a doctor, engineer, or I can be an artist, a philanthropist, and an entrepreneur. I can be a computer programmer or a designer when it comes to hardware, software. Or I can do administration or management. I can do logistics and day to day. We could talk blockchain and Web3 and AI and DeepSeek R1 and Copilot or ChatGPT or Siri or Sarah or Alexa. I can make this investment as big as you want it to be, as small as you want it to be. This is not for everybody. This is for the people that do understand. Why is this important? It's important because it involves all of the people that I care about. So my success is their success. Their success is my success. Regardless of industry or trade, product or service, corporate nuclear structure of the company, holdings company or otherwise, we are all in this together. Don't think that because I may not say Jonas Debesai all the time, doesn't mean he's not involved in this project. It means that the challenge for me to have somebody like Medino is to decide in what roles I can place Medino in this company. And Jonas, Medino has basically taken Jonas's position, but because Jonas is in this dark cloud, if I can pull Jonas out of the dark cloud, now I can bring Jonas back into the corporate circle. So look at management structure, for example. You have Jonas, you have Jo, you have Medino with administration, you have Arlen Hamilton, you have Casey Graham, you have Mauricio Ruiz, you have M. Rodriguez, you have Ray Daniels, you have Miss Laurie. Um, that's just logistics right there. That's about a dozen managers, all work in logistics, all have their own investments, all have their own projects, all have their own businesses, all have their own catalogs, their own portfolios, their own trajectory, decades and decades of experience, wisdom, and knowledge, things that have happened to them personally and professionally. How do I bring them together when our ultimate goal is not to go Sony, Warner Brothers, Universal Music Group, or Hypnosis? It's Black Rock and Blackstone. Blackstone bought Hypnosis. We already understand that BlackRock is in a similar pursuit. When we talk about Coinbase, we're looking for potential partnerships. When we talk about NVIDIA, when we talk about PayPal, these are just companies that have been in the palette recently. Why is it important to keep up with the markets? Because we are in technology. We're a technology based company. These NFTs, these opportunities for these digital artists exist both for music and entertainment, not just as visual art, but interactive art, not just in graphics, but in apparel, wearable technology, video games, everything else that we do. It's also digital in the sense of the production team and the production staff. I'm bringing everybody together with my music. And in other business structures, you couldn't have all of these different elements. I'm bringing everything together. I have the artist for the NFT art, which that goes into merchandise and clothing and apparel, things like this. This is what they do. But now you're combining it with the music. I have the production staff. We're talking Farik, we're talking Buddha, we're talking every other producer, which is bigger than Buddha and Farik, but Farik and Buddha are number one. They're equal. I have thousands of songs with Buddha, I have thousands of songs with Farik. And this is just to give you an example. Talent on the Beats is another producer that, to me, that kid is phenomenal. But there is a hidden album that, was taken away. We may never know what that album is. We may never know if this person is ready to step it up to that professional level. Yet, we're still creating the content, organic marketing, digital distribution. We're building every single day. We're creating the NFTs. We're doing everything that we can. We're using all of our power. What do we need now? More powerful computers, more powerful systems. We need more time. And time, as the project progresses, we're going to have less and less time. Higher income, higher cash flow gives us the ability to hire more professionals that I can delegate power to so that I can be focused on what I'm doing. Because once the agreement is reached, or one of them or several of them, I'm going into creative mode. So these are the final moments where these things get to happen. So we get to document this. We get to capture these moments and have these daily meetings that you can all look forward to. even for the people in the peanut gallery that just hover, not understanding that my power users connect through virtual networks and they really connect through Web3 and the blockchain. So they don't understand that the dynamics of things are completely different. At the same time, I cannot strain my voice. Everything I do is with my voice. So if I do a rehearsal and record an album, that's it. And it's so many data points constantly coming at everybody. Imagine how many data points come at me every day. And I have to sort out, okay, this is a priority, this is important, this, that, and the third. And I have not been using um, uh, technology as an assistant because I'm dealing with so many things on the personal level. But this is the beginning of that new life. This is inspiration and motivation for those that need it, even if we're able to help one person. So for today, I feel in my heart that I have conveyed everything that I wanted to convey to all of you. Thank you for tuning in. Tune right back in. Um, let's have an open discussion when you guys are writing your papers for your finals. Let's discuss the different dynamics of things that we mentioned here that we're not going to outline because we're going to take it to heart that you're going to take your time to go through the content and see what we're talking about, what we've done, how we did it. And all I want to know is your unique perspective. Have an amazing day today. May you conquer everything in your path. May everything that you touch turn into beautiful bars of gold and silver, and beautiful and precious gemstones such as moissanite and laboratory grown diamonds. Always remember to dream big because dreams come true. Happened to me. I know for a fact it's going to happen to you. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. In a few weeks, we're going to start pulling out the exotics and having the opportunity to create content. Even here in this brick and mortar location, I can park one of my exotic cars. This is in a mountain, so it's an incline to get here. And basically, I can have the equipment set up and staged in the parking lot and have the same discussion remotely, where we're not in the confines of being indoors. So just taking our university master classes outdoors changes everything. Being able to create the content, even if it's just inspirational, it's not just I'm Team Corvette and we're going to go hard with the CA platform because we are. And guess what? There's a C9 uh, platform already on the way in development. Again, these are all examples of changes that are to come. And we've been building up to this over so many years that now it happens naturally, organically, without being forced. It doesn't have to be structured one way versus the other. It just is. You know, you're going to see me cooking. You're going to see me mountain biking. You're going to see me surfing. You're going to see me working out in the gym. You're going to see me hiking. You're going to see me interact with the public. You're going to see what I do, with charities and churches and the people. You're also going to get to see everything else in my career. You're going to be part of the movie as we're filming it, the series. All of these things, well, not this content, but like all the other content that you see on the social media, that's all in the movie. It's all in the books. It's all in the series. It's all in the everything that we do. And that is important because I wanted to show you guys how I built the company from nothing to trillions of dollars. It has put everything in perspective. Just like Morpheus, just like Jonas, Medino, Mauricio Ruiz, Miss Arlen Hamilton, everybody has their own things going on. But this is my way to keep everybody underneath the Lord of the Rings. The music is what brings us together. The technology gives us the money we need to open the opportunities. We have to do things with that level of a priority. These are the unspoken truths. I don't have to say it every single day. Each one of them knows they can tune in, tap in every single day, and be up to date. Whoever doesn't do that does not belong in this company. We're still family. It's still a brotherhood. We're still friends at the end of the day. But business is different, and technology leaves no room on the table. I have to balance out how I'm going to work with my father and my brothers and my sisters and my daughters and my sons. They have to be part of this company because I'm not always going to be young. I'm not always going to have the energy to go do all of these things. I'm at a point where I have grandchildren, right? So as my grandchildren are growing, I'm making the transition to just be around my family. You know, from what we're calculating, this is going to be like a good 5, 6 year run. I'm going to do everything I can and I'm riding off into the sunset. That's it. And I'm telling you that on day one. I'm telling you that today, so you're not surprised 5, 10 years from now when I'm like, yo, I'm chilling. Now, there must be a balance. I'm always going to work to a certain degree or to a certain capacity, to a certain extent. I'm still going to be better in myself, keeping up to date with everything that's going on. But from that point, it's just management, it's cruise control. Once we get the vehicle on the road, out of the racetrack, using everything we learned for engineering, putting it as a civilian product or service, now I could just manage. And I need God's people. I need people that I can trust to delegate this power to because I'm not always going to have this opportunity. No, also that this level of success comes with its own set of challenges. And I know my limitations. I know how difficult this can be. I know how hard this can be. Therefore, all I can do is contribute my part or my element to that. And having these gatherings of the mind, disclosing business on a high tech level is important because this is what it's all about. It's not just me creating the content, giving you guys advice and instructions and teaching you because I'm learning equally from you guys, but it's also being able to reflect. I've had so many years in my career of just putting and pushing everything out. Now I get to sit back and absorb the content myself, learn from every experience. Remember that a few months ago, before I made my trip to Jerusalem and to Mecca and the Walk of Fire, all these things, I explained to everyone that it was going to be different. I'm still going through that process in a different way, and I'm going to go through it again. Now it's not, I'm going to go to these holy grounds once a year or twice a year. Now I can go every few months. And that's a standard that I just raised for myself. I didn't have that standard before. I didn't have a reason or a meaning behind it. It wasn't something I was drawn to how I am now. Because throughout this journey, as I'm building the greatest potential of my lifetime, the challenges have been equally met with opposition and restriction and limitation and heartache. So it is a balance of both things. Now I'm a mountain, I cannot be moved. I found inner peace. I found a new calling and a new direction. I can get the utmost happiness from something like this. Let's show your boy some love, kid. You already know. I know you tuned in. I got you, B. You feel what I'm saying? I can find happiness in this because for me, it means something else. You notice how the NFT moves? You see that? He's on the surfboard. And you see it? If I didn't tell you that, that's how you know it's special edition. Can you see the board? You see where the board starts and ends? I can find as much happiness in this NFT as I have starting my SV or my SV Joda. Just to kind of give you an example. And these are just small circumstances, right? I can go pray, meditate, work out, go swimming, go do all these things. These are all things that were or are outside of my comfort zone because I've lived such a private life. And I'm going to continue to live a private life, but I'm also going to give a little bit more to the people as I can as I'm working on this. And guess what? All the people around me, they have to step back outside of their comfort zone because we're going to peel back the layers. They're also going to be on reality shows and social media. Their lives are about to have magnifying glasses. Why? Because everybody wants to know if this person is so special, how special are you? So I have to mentally prepare them for this. I have to mentally break these things down and say, you know what? Now the roles are going to change. You guys are going to be the face of the company. I'm no longer going to be the main ambassador. My music already does that. I cannot detach from the technology of the music and everything else. Now everything is up to everyone else. So guess what? If you don't like to post content and you don't like to do organic marketing and things like that, I can't help you because it is almost a requirement. It is almost a requirement by default in everything that we're doing. So it puts everything into perspective. That includes my children. That includes the mother of my children, their families, their friends, their colleagues, my relatives, my family, my friends. Everybody's a part of this because this movement is a historical movement. You don't think I have to tell Mauricio Ruiz, as much as love and respect that I have for him, that he has to get ready for this? He has no idea. As big as he is, this guy is a titan. This guy is a juggernaut. M. Rodriguez, same thing. Ray Daniels. You think Ray Daniels is the stuff now? Oh no. When he puts this on his resume, it's next level. This is like Quincy Jones status, babyface status, like real mogul, next level. No, you cannot retire from music. I'm here. I'm the championship. I'm the final boss. What a way to go out and retire and say, yo, I worked on that project with Venom R1. I'm Ray Daniels. Yo, I'm Mauricio Ruiz. Yo, I'm M. Rodriguez. I'm Miss Laurie. I'm Arlen Hamilton. I'm Mark Cuban. I'm Floyd Mayweather Jr. I'm Manny Cashman. I'm Kevin Pathrak. I'm Casey Graham. I'm Brandman Sean. I'm VaynerMedia. I'm Gary Vaynerchuk. I'm Patrick Bet David. I'm Valley Taylor. Just to give you an example. And the list goes on and on and on. This is the standard of greatness. We've gone to Greatness Mountain. Now we're bringing everyone together for this ball of energy to a Duke in the entire universe for all eternity with the biggest music catalog, over 8,000 songs and growing. We're already at 800 and let me give you the exact figure so I can be professional. You do understand that every single time that we do this, we're breaking and establishing a completely new record. We stand at 860 records, 860 songs, 860 NFTs released for the year. That's 860 new producers, artists that we've collaborated with, projects that are out. It's only August the 3rd. My daughter's birthday is in 3 days. You understand me? So this is the culmination of all of those things. So as much as I want to be driven to go back to my office and everything else, no, I got to go work out. I need a moment for myself. I have to disconnect. I have to take my time. Let my business partners have room to breathe and reassess and restructure and reorganize. Why? So that when I go, I can be my best at bat and hit it out of the park. You know, I said in one of my songs, Mauricio Ruiz, I'm going to hit it out the park like David Ortiz. I got this. We don't need nothing else. We don't need nobody else. Mauricio Ruiz was the last piece of the puzzle. So God help me. That could change tomorrow. But so far, he's hit all the quality traits that I needed. All the other execs that came in through him only home runs. That's it. It's as simple as that. Nothing more, nothing less. I don't have to take it out of context. We're a technology based company. This is the project that we're working on. Today's album is already pretty much, as far as visual arts, sequencing, it's already in place. Now the rest is up to me. And I have the power and the control to be able to release this record as soon as possible. Even if it takes the course of the day, I'm still going to go work out and keep myself emotionally, mentally, physically, psychologically sound. I'm still going to help the business, the franchise, the product, or the service, the industry, the trade. But I'm also, first and foremost, going to be working on the music and the art, which is, that's my superpower. This is the best way to communicate to all of my loved ones, not just my fans, not just my students, not just my business partners, not just my colleagues, not my friends, not my relatives, not my family, not just my children. This is for everybody. This is for everything. This is for all the marbles. When I get more equipment and I get better technology, I'm going to be able to have a synergy drive of these things. Why? Because now every single piece of content is going to go through the Discord, and that's going to be a live wire. And the only way that I can capture that is to have the technology to capture that content and build it into something else. But it gives us another avenue. And it also is able to process video, which takes it to the next level. So all my computer programmers and my designers, my graphic designers, they can embrace both parts of the technology because everything that I do has an NFT. So now what does that do for the radio show, the podcast, for Future Tech Plus, which is digital print? What about printing Future Tech Plus, putting it out into the newsstands? How many newsstands are in New York? What would it take for me to just say, I'm going to drop these, 100 episodes of Future Tech Plus, and people can pay whatever they pay, and you're going to get a percentage. And we only accept digital payments. We can be that product or service that only accepts digital payment and cryptocurrencies and open the avenue for these merchants. So the potential, the horizontals, the laterals, all are parallel for growth. Everything is growth. We are creating our own opportunities. We don't need anybody. We have our own capital. We're moving at the pace of life. We get investment capital, we'll move at the speed of light. We bring it together, we both move at the speed of light, not just life. Investment capital comes in, it'll just accelerate the process, but it's not the process for growth. I have my own millions of dollars I could put into my company. I bet it all on me from day one. I already have millions of dollars invested. This is the point of no return for me. I'm going from a $30,000 ASIC miner in a closet to $5-6 million for a Hopper system. That is the quantum growth. This is since 2017. We're talking about 8 years. 8 years, and we have an 8,000 song catalog worth trillions of dollars. What do you think is going to happen in the next 8 years? I'm only going to invest more. I'm only going to produce more. I'm only going to have a deeper network and more access and more people and more resources. We are never going to stop, no matter what. Even when I'm physically no longer here, this is going to continue. All these things are programmed on the blockchain where nobody has access to them. I have 3.7 trillion NFTs with Miss Taylor Swift. Half of them we owe to taxes. Whatever's left is divided between her and myself. So that's 1.5 plus what? 3.5? It's like 1.38 trillion NFTs each. She pays her own taxes, I pay my own taxes. We are part of an exclusive club. She locked down the industry from this side, I locked down the industry from this side. This is what we are. We are the bank. we're the biggest artists known to humankind. She went and she redid all of her masters. I own all of my masters. Who do you think instructed her to do that? Who do you think went and minted, paid the money to mint the 3.7 trillion? Now we're our own bank. Now we can guarantee every investment, and everything is locked away in a vault where there's no access to it. And as technology progresses, the locks only get stronger. So it's impenetrable. Now ask yourself this question: if we already did that, can we do it again? And the answer is absolutely. I leave you with that. Let me finish my coffee, and we'll get back to the office. We're going to give ourselves time. God bless.